when you listen to people, they give you their heart. When you listen to people, you instantly occupy a very rare position in life. Right? The people you are seeking promotion from at work, there are people. If you listen to them and listen to their conversation, you will find areas in their lives where you can show care. And there are things happening in your organizations at work that you're not even privy to. I met a gentleman many years ago. He just seemed to know everything going on in the office. Before the memo comes out, he's the first to know. Before the circular goes out, he's the first to know. Before the news hits the intranet in the office, he will have talked about it in our coffee table, or I started paying attention to this gentleman called Richard, and I realized something about him. Richard wasn't particularly very skilled. I was actually more technical and competent than Richard. But Richard was always very caring. Richard will always pass a compliment. Richard will always listen to people. When we get to the office on Monday morning, while I'm revving to go, people will be telling Richard how their cat got missing over the weekend, how their dog got poisoned, how their girlfriend left them from another guy. And Richard will just sit down and listen and listen and listen and listen. And I soon found out that they loved Richard more than me. And I was the one being paid to do the job we were asked to do. When the time came to move people on, guess who they retained? Richard. I got choked out. Somebody went to the program manager and put a good word in, while Richard, a fellow contractor, should be retained, and while Mr. Consultant and result-driven should be kicked out. So I got choked out. My contract was not renewed. Listen. Nobody cares what you know. Nobody cares what you know. Nobody wants to know what you know. Make your life personable. Make your life personable by loving people, by replacing profit and promotion with care, by making up your mind to help people, and by listening to people. If you do that, someone will call you at work and tell you that they think you should be promoted. And that's what happened to me. Once bitten, twice shy. So years later, I went on a project, and that project was beyond me. But this time I had learned. So I became very friendly with the project manager. After work, we went out. We were staying in the same hotel. I was smarter now. Instead of just locking myself in the hotel and do the work, I started to hang out a little more. And I listened to him. And while listening to him, I now realized that he had some issues at home. And I offered my advice. So every night, he wanted to spend the evenings with me and just pour his heart out to me. Do you know it was one of those conversations that I realized that he doesn't like his job as a project manager. He's always wanted to be a chef. He's always wanted to be a chef, and he hated his job. And he was being paid a lot of money. And so we started, and so I told him, I said, listen, but I have some skills outside this. I said, why don't we, I said, I trained as an accountant. Why don't we just see how we can put a business plan together for you for your future restaurant? So I offered to help. So all of a sudden, he put in a case for me to get retained on the project because I cared for him. He had problem with his daughter, and he was constantly seeking my advice and prayers for his daughter. So when it was time for them to extend my contract, they asked him, what do you think he would say? Not only did he extend it, he increased the daily rate. Nobody cares what you know. So I need us to go against the grain of popular belief. Drive, drive, drive. Activity, activity, activity. Slow down. Slow down. Change your belief. Love your neighbor as yourself, people around you. Replace the mandate of profit with help. Learn to care for people and learn to listen. All right? Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.